Hi guys, welcome to Nyonya Cooking. I am now standing in my new kitchen and finally have so much more space to work with. I hope that I could bring you more recipes from this kitchen. We added a few gadgets here and there. I'm really excited about this whole new setup. But today we are going to show you how to prepare a very simple cake recipe. And if you know Madeleines, you love Madeleines, you are going to love this recipe. To Malaysians, of course, we know it, and this is a recipe for Kuih Bahulu. Kuih is a type of cake, and Bahulu refers to this dough that has more eggs and a mixture of flour with it. It's crusty on the outside, soft in the inside, and that's my perfect Kuih Bahulu. It is my childhood favorite snack, and it is also associated with many festive celebrations in Malaysia. So we always have it when we visit friends' homes or relatives' homes. So without further ado, let's check out the ingredients. Ingredient number one that we will need would be eggs, followed by wheat flour, sugar, baking powder, and a bit of oil just to oil the mold that we will be using. If you have the mold for Madeleines, you can use them, but I'm going to use the traditional Kuih Bahulu mold. As you can see here, it looks like this. Right, I got it in Malaysia. I don't think so you can find it out of Malaysia, but if you can, you're really very lucky. And I will be using this because traditionally this is how we make the Kuih Bahulu. So before we begin, we are going to prep first. We will first start with the wheat flour. Despite having very few ingredients, there are few things that you need to do before making your Kuih Bahulu, and these steps are really important, and in fact it's the key to success or failure. So we will begin by sifting the flour onto a pan, and what they usually do back then in the olden days, they would actually dry this flour and make it really soft and light, and this is why the texture of the Kuih Bahulu can be really light inside. But since we don't have the sun outside, I'm going to use the help of the oven, or you can also use just a pan and just lightly heat this up. I've already preheated it at 220 Celsius. We're going to put in there for about 3 to 5 minutes. Don't let the flour turn brown, or else you have to start all over again. And remember to not switch on the fan in the oven, or else you're going to have a big headache. So it still looks the same. You just want to ensure that it's really dry, and if you touch the surface of the flour, it's pretty hot. So we're going to leave this aside now. Tip number 2 that I'm sharing with you is to heat up the sugar. We're going to do this step because we want our Kuih Bahulu to last longer. By doing this step, you will actually keep the Kuih Bahulu for up to 4 weeks, and it would still stay really fresh. Or else you can only keep it up for 2 weeks, and then everything turns soft, soggy. It will not be the perfect Kuih Bahulu. So let's begin. You can of course use the oven, but I would prefer to use a pan, then I could control the heat and I wouldn't want to burn my sugar. Once it starts to melt a little, you better stop, because we don't want to use melted sugar. So I'm just going to pour this back into the bowl. The third step to preparation would be to oil the mold, and all I'm going to do is to use a brush with some oil. Be generous with the oil, because you would want the Kuih Bahulu to just lightly fall off without any effort. Once you oil this up, and it goes into the oven, and we'll prepare the batter for the Kuih Bahulu. Start cracking the eggs, mix them with the sugar. We will begin beating the eggs together with the sugar at the lowest speed, and then we'll keep going quicker. So let's begin now. So when mixing the batter, if you like, you can also add a bit of vanilla essence or rose essence, just to make sure that this Kuih Bahulu is really fragrant, and this would actually tone the smell of the egg. And if you don't like that, this is what you should do. For me, I'm going to use some vanilla paste, so just a bit. consistency that you're looking for is slightly stiffer, if you just lift this mixer up, you see a trail on the batter, and that's what you want. So using a spatula, I'm going to carefully mix the flour into the batter. And remember to only go in one direction, because this batter has a lot of air in it, and you really don't want to get rid of all the air, or else you're going to settle with a very hard Kuih Bahulu, and that's not what we want. So the baking powder that we had, I'm going to add this to the flour. Now I'm going to put all at one time, try to incorporate it together. The batter is now ready, it's carefully mixed, and I'm going to remove the mold from the oven. If you have any excess oil like this, I don't like to have too much oil, quickly pour it into a different pan. It will be in the oven until it is golden brown, and then you know that you will want to take it out. But before that, remember to have 2 toothpicks, or basically just some sticks, for you to just lift the Kuih Bahulu out of the mold. And of course, when you remove it from the mold, you have to oil it again before you put the batter in. Finish up the batter, keep baking, continue the process, and it should be in the oven for about 8 to 10 minutes depending on the heat of the oven. And I'm here to show you how it finally looks like. It's so good, it's crispy on the outside, soft in the inside, just as I wanted it to be. Now, as usual, it's my favorite time of the video, and that is to taste it. As you can see, it looks really hard on the outside, but actually that means it's crispy, and when I bite into it, you're gonna see it's really soft. Lovely. Because we have sugar in the dough itself, when it touches the oil, it sort of fries this dough, so you get this crispy layer on the outside. And on the inside, it's really soft. See? So what I really love to do with this is to soak it in your coffee or tea, you know. It soaks up all this drink, this hot drink that you have. Have you tried this recipe? Tell me what you think of this recipe. And I hope that you stay tuned to Nyonya Cooking. Subscribe to us for more simple videos like this. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, happy cooking! Now ready, have a look at the leaf. As you can see, it is slightly burnt,